네, 안녕하십니까. 영어 시도링 연습 138일차 시작하겠습니다. 네, 오늘도 첫 번째 영상은 아놀드 슈왈제네거 영상 하겠습니다. 자막을 가리고 하겠습니다. I'm here to talk about success. Work your ass off. I hate Plan B. Don't listen to the naysayers. Everything I ever did. The thing that I get out of people's mouths was that's impossible. That can't be done. Or no. I didn't listen to those losers. I didn't listen to them at all. If I would have listened to naysayers from bodybuilding to chauvinism to politics, I would not be standing here today, talking to you. I would be in Austria in the office, the other way. So when someone says no, this is a stupid idea, you in your mind, you don't have to say it, but your mind just says, fuck you, you're an asshole. What do you know? With the age of 20 London, I went to London. I won the Mr. Universe contest as the youngest Mr. Universe entry ever. It was because I have a goal. See, if you don't have a vision of where you go, if you don't have a goal of where you go, you drift around and never end up anywhere. You got to have a purpose, whatever you do in life. Have a purpose, have a vision. Work your ass off. There is no magic pill. Muhammad Ali worked his butt off, and I saw it firsthand. And I remember that there was a sports writer that was in the gym, and he was working out, and it was sit-ups. And he asked him, "How many sit-ups do you do?" And he said, "I don't start counting until it hurts." Now think about that. He doesn't start counting his sit-ups until he feels pain. Then that's when he starts counting. That is working hard. I went to college. I went and worked out 5 hours a day, and I was working in construction. Because in those days in bodybuilding, there was no money. Didn't have the money for food support or anything. So I had to go to work. So I worked in construction. I went to college, worked out in the gym, and at night from 8 o'clock at night to 12 midnight, I went to acting class 4 times a week. Yes, I did all that. There wasn't one single minute that I wasted. And this is why I'm standing here today. And it drives me crazy when people say they don't have enough time to go to the gym for 45 minutes a day to work out, or to do something for 45 minutes to an hour a day to improve, if it is physically improved or if it is mentally improved. Imagine you read 1 hour a day about history. How much will you learn after 365 hours in 1 year? With 24 hours a day, you sleep 6 hours a day, so it gives you still 18 hours. So someone shaking head over here in front to say probably I was like 6 hours, I sleep 8 hours, right? We just sleep faster. But you can see how much time there is available if you organize your day. So you got to work hard. You get it? Work like a heron, go to bed, only your rise, work like a heron, advertise. So you work your ass off, and then you let the world know about your work. That's what it's all about. Let people know if you have a company, if you have a movie, if you do a sports. Work your ass off and then advertise, let everyone know. You have so many of those people that say no, you can't do it, that's impossible. That is okay because you just start off. When you start doubting yourself, that's very dangerous. Because now you are basically saying is my plan doesn't work. I have a fallback plan. I have a plan B. That means that you start thinking about plan B and you every thought that you put into plan B and you're taking away now that thought and the energy plan from plan A. It's very important to understand that we function better if there is no safety net. Because plan B becomes safety net. It says if I fail, then I fall and I get picked up and I have something else there that will protect me. That's not good. I'm telling you, I've never ever had a plan B. I said I made a full commitment that I'm gonna go and be a bodybuilding champion. I said I made a full commitment that I'm going to be in America. I made a full commitment that I'm getting to shop business. I'm going to be a leading man. No matter what it takes, I will do the work. I will do the work over and over and over again until I get it. To me, it is very dangerous to have a plan B because you're cutting yourself off from the chance really succeed. One of the main reasons why people want to have a plan B is because they are worried about failing. What is if I fail? Then I don't have anything else. Well, let me tell you something. Don't be afraid of failing, because there's nothing wrong with failing. You have to fail in order to climb the ladder. There is no one that doesn't fail. We all fail. It's okay. What is not okay is that when you fail and stay down, whoever stays down is a loser. And winners will fail and get up, fail and get up, fail and get up. You always get up. That is a winner. That is a winner. I failed in bodybuilding. I lost the bodybuilding competitions. I lost the powerlifting competitions. I lost the weightlifting competitions. I had movies that went into toilet that were terrible. They got the worst reviews. Hey, we all lose. We all have losses. This is okay. This is why I've said don't be worried about losing, because when you're afraid of losing, you get frozen. You get stiff. You are not relaxed. In order to perform well in anything, if it is boxing or if it is your job or with your thinking, it's happening when you relax. So relax. It's okay to fail. Let's just go all out and give it everything you've got. That's what it is all about. So don't be afraid to fail. 네, 오늘 첫 번째 영상 잘 끝났고요. 네, 오늘 이제 이거를 마지막으로 하고요. 다음 시간부터는 바로 이제 지금 두 번째 영상이 오바마 영상부터 들으면서 하면 될 것 같습니다. 오늘 오바마 영상 마지막으로 자막 보면서 두 번째 영상으로 하겠습니다. But at the end of the day, the circumstances of your life, when you look like where you come from, how much money you have, what you got going on at home, none of that is an excuse. There is no excuse for not trying. I've given a lot of speeches about education. I've talked about responsibility a lot. I've talked about teachers' responsibility for inspiring students and pushing you to learn. I've talked about your parents' responsibility for making sure you stay on track and you get your homework done. Don't spend every waking hour in front of TV or with the Xbox. I've talked about your government's responsibility for setting high standards and supporting teachers and principals and turning around schools that are working, where students are getting the opportunities that they deserve. But at the end of the day, we can have the most dedicated teachers, the most supportive parents, the best schools in the world, and none of it will make a difference. None of it will matter unless all of you fulfill your responsibilities, unless you show up to those schools, unless you pay attention to those teachers, unless you listen to your parents and grandparents and others and put in the hard work it takes to succeed. That's what I want to focus on today. The responsibility each of you has for your education. I want to start with the responsibility you have to yourself. Every single one of you has something that you're great. Every single one of you has something to offer. You have a responsibility to yourself to discover what that is. That's the opportunity that education can provide. Maybe you could be a great writer. Maybe you're even good enough to write a book or articles in newspaper, but you might not know it. Maybe you could be an innovator or an inventor, maybe even good enough to come up with the new iPhone, next iPhone or the new medicine and vaccine, but you might not know it until you do a project for your science class. Maybe you could be a mayor or a senator or a Supreme Court justice. But you might not know that until you join student government or the debate team. And no matter what you want to do in your life, I guarantee that you will need an education to do. You want to be a doctor, a teacher, a police officer, you want to be a nurse or architect or lawyer or a member of our military, you're going to need a good education for every single one of those careers. You cannot drop out of school and just drop into a good job. You got to train for it and work for it and learn for it. This isn't just important for your own life and your own future. What you make of your education will decide nothing less than the future of this country. The future of America depends on you. What you're learning in school today will determine whether we, as a nation, can meet our greatest challenges in the future. You'll need the knowledge and problem-solving skills you learn in science and math to cure diseases like cancer and AIDS, develop new energy technologies, and protect our environment. You'll need insights and critical thinking skills you gain in history and social studies to fight poverty and homelessness, crime and discrimination, and make our nation more fair and more free. You need the creativity and ingenuity you develop in your earlier cases to build your companies that will create your jobs and boost our economy. We need every single one of you to develop your talents and your skills and your intellect so you can help us all folks solve our most difficult problems. If you don't do that, if you quit on school, you're not just quitting on yourself, you're quitting on your country. I know it's not always easy to do it in school. I know a lot of you have challenges in your lives right now. They make it hard to focus on your schoolwork. I get it. I know what it's like. My father left my family when I was 2 years old. I was raised by a single man who had work, who struggled at times to pay the bills, and wasn't always able to give us the things that other kids had. There were times when I missed having a father in my life. There were times when I was learning, and I felt like I didn't fit it. So I wasn't always as focused as I should have been at school. I did some things I'm not proud of. I got in more trouble than I should have. My life could have easily taken a turn for the worse. But I was lucky. I got a lot of second chances. I had the opportunity to go to college and law school and follow my dreams. My wife, our first lady, Michelle Obama, she has a smooth story. Neither of her parents had gone to college, and they didn't have a lot of money. But they worked hard and she worked hard so that she could go to the best schools in this country. Some of you might not have those advantages. Maybe you don't have those in addition in your life who give you the support you need. Maybe someone in your family has lost their job. There's not enough money to go around. Maybe you live in a neighborhood where you don't feel safe. Have friends are pressuring you to do things are right. But at the end of the day, the circumstances of your life, what you look like, where you come from, how much money you have, what you got going on at home, none of that is an excuse for neglecting your homework or having a bad attitude in school. There's no excuse for talking back to your teacher or calling class or dropping out of school. There is no excuse for not trying. Where you are right now doesn't have to determine where you end up. No one's written your destiny for you. Because here in America, you write your own destiny, you make your own future. That's why young people like you are doing every day all across America. Young people like Jasmine Perez from Roma, Texas. Jasmine didn't speak English when she first started school. Neither of her parents had gone to college. But she worked hard, earned good grades, and got a scholarship to Brown University. Is now in graduate school, studying public health on her way to becoming Dr. Jasmine Perez. I'm thinking about Andoni Schultz from Los Altos, California. He's fought brain cancer since he was 3. He's had to endure all sorts of treatments and surgeries, one of which affected his memory, so it took him much longer, hundreds of extra hours to do his schoolwork. but he never fell behind. He's headed to college this fall. And there's Shelton Steve from my hometown, Chicago, Illinois. Even when bounced from foster home in the toughest neighborhoods in the city, she managed to get a job at a local health care center. Start a program to keep young people. Start a program to keep young. Start a program to keep young people. Start a program to keep young people out of gangs, and she's on track to graduate high school with honors and going to school. And Jasmine and Donnie Chantal are very different from any of you. They face challenges in their lives just like you do. In some cases, they've got a lot of worse stuff made than many of you, but they refuse to give up. They choose to take responsibility for their lives, with their education, and set goals for themselves. And I expect all of you to do the same. That's why today I'm calling on each of you to set your own goals for your education, and do everything and you set your own goals for your education. Do everything you can to meet them. But whatever you resolve to do, I want you to commit to it. I want you to really work it. I know that sometimes you get the sense from TV that you can be rich and successful without hard work. That your ticket access is through rapping or basketball or being a reality TV star. Chances are you're not gonna be TV star. Chances are you're not gonna be any of those others. The truth is, being successful is hard. You want love every subject that you study. You want play with every teacher that you have. That every homework assignment will seem completely relevant to your life right at this minute. And you won't necessarily succeed at everything the first time you try. That's okay. Some of the most successful people in the world are the ones who've had the most failures. J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter, his, her, first, her first Harry Potter book was rejected 12 times before it was finally published. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He lost hundreds of games and missed thousands of shots during his career. But he once said, I have failed over and over and over again in my life. And that's why I succeed. That's people succeeded because they understood that you can't let your failures define you. You have to let your failures teach you. You have to let them show you what to do differently the next time. So if you get into trouble, then that doesn't mean you're a troublemaker. It means you need to try harder, to act right. If you get a bad grade, that doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means you need to spend more time studying. No one's born being good at all things. You'll become good at things through hard work. You're not a versatile athlete the first time you play a new sport. You don't hit every note the first time you sing a song. You got to practice. The same principle applies to your schoolwork. You might you might have to do a you might have to do a math problem a few times before you get it right. You might have to read something a few times before you understand it. You definitely have to do a few drafts of paper before it's good enough to hand in. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need. I do that every day. Asking for help is Asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. Because it shows you have the courage to admit when you don't know something, and that then allows you to learn something new. So find a adult that you trust, a parent, a grandparent, or teacher, a coach, or a counselor, and ask them to help you stay on track to meet your goals. And even when you're struggling, even when you're discouraged, you feel like other people have given up on you, don't ever give up on yourself. Because when you give up on yourself, you're giving up on your country. The story of America isn't about people who quit when things got tough. It's about people who kept going, who tried hard, who loved their country too much to do anything less than their best. It's the story of students who said, where you sit 250 years ago and went on to the age of revolution and they founded this nation. Young people, students who said, where you sit 75 years ago, who overcame a depression, won a world war, who fought for civil rights, and put on the man on the moon. Students who said very lucid 20 years ago, who founded Google and Twitter and Facebook, and changed the way we communicate with each other. So today, I want to ask all of you, what's your contribution going to be? What problems are you going to solve? What discoveries will you make? I expect So I expect all of you to get serious this year. I expect you to put your best effort into everything you do. I expect great things from each of you. So don't let us down. Don't let your family down or your country down or most of all don't let yourself down. Make us our proud. Thank you very much everybody. God bless you. God bless America. 네, 두 번째 영상도 잘 봤습니다. 그리고 이어서 볼 세 번째 영상은 음, how to have a good conversation 볼까요? Alright, I want to see a show of hands. How many of you have unfriended someone on Facebook because they say something offensive about politics, or religion, childcare, food? And how many of you know at least one person that you avoid because you just don't want to talk to them? It used to be in order to have a hard conversation, we just had to follow the advice of the health agency. My family, stick to the weather and stick to the weather. Stick to the weather and your health. But these days, with climate change and the vaccine, those subjects are not safe either. So this world that we live in, this world in which every conversation has the potential to devolve into an argument, where our politicians can speak to one another, and where even the most trivial of issues, if someone fighting was passionately for it or against it, it's not normal. Pew Research did a study of 10,000 Americans, and they found that at this moment, we are more polarized, we are more divided than we ever have been in history. We're less likely to compromise, which means we're not listening to each other. And we make decisions about where to live, who to marry, and even who our friends are gonna be, based on what we already believe. Again, that means we're not listening to each other. A conversation requires a balance between talking and listening, and somehow along the way we lost that balance. Now, part of that is due to technology. The smartphones that you are either have in your hands or close enough that you could grab them really quickly. According to Pew's research, about a third of American teenagers send more than 100 texts a day. And many of them, almost most of them, are more likely to text their friends than they text their text than they are to talk to them face to face. There's this there's this great piece in the Atlantic. It was written by a high school teacher named Paul Bonner. And he gave his kids a communication project. He wanted to teach them how to speak on a specific subject without using notes. And he said this: I came to realize that conversational competence might be the single most overlooked skill we fail to teach. Kids spend hours each day engaging with ideas and each other through screens, but rarely do they have an opportunity to hone their interpersonal communication skills. It might sound like a funny question, but we have to ask ourselves, is there any 21st century skill more important than being able to sustain coherent, confident conversation? Now I make my living talking to people. Nobel Prize winners, truck drivers, billionaires, kindergarten teachers, heads of states, plumbers. I talk to people that I like. I talk to people that I don't like. I talk to some people that I disagree with deeply on a personal level, but I still have a great conversation with them. So I so I like to so I'd like to spend the next 10 minutes or so to teaching you how to talk and how to listen.
Many
Many
of
of
you
you
have
have
already
a,
heard advice on
many of you, many of you have already heard many of you have already heard a lot of advice on this. Many of you have already heard a lot of advice on
things
this.
like look the person
Things
in the
like
eye,
look the person in the eye,
think of interesting
think
things
of
to talk about,
interesting topics to
discuss
discuss in advance.
look
Look a nod and
and
smile to show that you are paying attention.
repeat
Uh,
back what you
repeat
just
back,
heard or summarize
repeat back what you just heard
it.
or summarized. So I want you to forget all of that. It's crap.
There is no reason to learn
There is no reason to learn
how
how to show you're paying attention if you are in fact
paying
paying
attention.
attention.
Now, I
Now,
actually use the
I
exact
actually
same
use the
skills as a
exact
professional
same skills
interviewer
as a
that I do in
professional
my
interview
life.
that I do in
So,
regular life. So
I'm
I'm
going
gonna
to
teach
teach
you
you
how
how
to
to
interview
interview
people,
people,
and that's actually gonna help you learn how to be better conversationalist. Learn to have a conversation without wasting your time, without getting bored, and please God, without offending anybody. We all have really correct conversations with helping people. We know what it's like. The kind of conversation where we walk away feeling engaged and inspired, a way to feel like you made a real connection or you've been correctly understood. There is no reason why most of your interactions can be right there. So I have 10 basic rules. I'm gonna walk you through a lot. But honestly, if you just choose one of them and master it, you'll already enjoy better conversations. Number one, don't multitask. And I don't mean just set down yourself or your tablet or your turkeys or whatever is in your hand. I mean be present, be in that moment. Don't be thinking about your argument you had with your boss. Don't think about what you're gonna have for dinner. If you wanna get out the conversation, get out the conversation. Don't be half in it and half out of it. Number two, don't pontificate. If you wanna state your opinion without any opportunity for a response or argument or pushback or cross, write a blog. No, there's a really good reason why I don't allow this on my show. Because they are very boring. If they are conservative, they are gonna hate Obama and food stamps and abortion. If they are liberal, they are gonna hate big banks and oil corporations and Dick Cheney. Totally predictable. And you don't want to be like that. You need to enter every conversation assuming that you have something to learn. The famed therapist Amscon Pack said that true wisdom requires a setting aside of oneself. And sometimes that means setting aside your personal opinion. He said that sensing his acceptance, the speaker will become less and less unavailable and more likely to open up the inner recess of his or her mind to the listener. Again, assume that you have something to learn. Bill Nye, everyone you will ever meet knows something that you don't. I put it this way, everybody is an expert in something. Number three, use open-ended questions. In this case, take a cue from journalists. Start your questions with who, what, when, where, how, why, or how. If you put in a complicated question, you're gonna get a simple answer out. If I ask you, were you terrified? You're gonna respond to the most popular was in the sentence which are terrified, and the answer is yes I was or no I wasn't. Very angry? Yes I was very angry. Let them describe it. Teach the ones they know. Try asking them things like, what's that like? How did that feel? Because then they might have to stop for a moment and think about it. And you're gonna get a much more interesting response. Number four, go with the flow. That means thoughts will come into your mind, then you need to let them go out of your mind. We've heard interviews often in which a guest is talking for several minutes and then the host becomes back and asks questions, which seems like it comes out of nowhere or it's already been answered. The means the host probably listened because he thought of this really clever question and he was just bound and determined to say that. And we do the exact same thing. We're sitting there having a conversation with someone and then we remember that time that we met Hugh Jam in a coffee shop and we stop listening. We're just waiting for a moment to interject our story about Hugh Jam and coffee. Stories and ideas I come to, you need to let them come and let them go. Number five, if you don't know, say that you don't know. Now, people on the radio, especially on NPR, are much more aware and they're gonna be on record, and so they're more careful. But what they claim to expert, what they claim to know for sure. To them, err on the side of caution. Talk should not be cheap. Number six, don't equate your experience with theirs. If they're talking about having lost a family member, don't start talking about time you lost a family member. If they're talking about the trouble, if they're talking about trouble that you're having at work, don't tell about how much you have your job. It's the next thing. It is never the same. Our experience are individual, and more importantly, it's not about you. You don't need to take the moment to prove how amazing you are or how much you've suffered. Somebody asked me talking once what is IQ, and he said, I have no idea. People who brag about their IQs are loser. Conversations are not a promotion opportunity. Number seven, try not to repeat yourself. It's constant and it's real though. And we tend to do it a lot, especially in work conversations or conversations with our kids. We have a point to make, so we just keep rephrasing it over and over. Don't do that. Number eight, stay out of the weeds. Frankly, people don't care about the years, the names, the dates, or those details that you're struggling to come up with in your mind. They don't care. What they care about is you. They care about your actual life, what you have in common. So forget the details. Read them out. Number nine. This is not the last one, but it's the most important one. Listen. I cannot tell you how much really important people I said are listening is perhaps the most. The number one most important skill that you could develop. Buddha said I'm preparation. If your mouth is open, you're not right. A Coolidge said, no man ever listened his way out of a job. Out of a job. Why do we not listen to each other? Number one, we'd rather talk. When I'm talking, I'm in control. I don't have to hear anything I'm not interested in. I'm the center of attention and impressed on my own identity. But there's another reason. We get distracted. The average person talks like about 225 words per minute, but we can listen at up to 500 words per minute. So our minds are filling in those of others 275 words. And look, I know it takes effort and energy to actually pay attention to something. But if you can't do that, you're not in a conversation. You're just the two people shouting out barely sentences in the same place. You have to. You have to listen to one another. Stephen Covey said it very beautifully. He said, most of us don't listen with the intent to listen. We listen with the intent to reply. One more rule, number 10, is this one. Be free. A good conversation is a lot of listening space, short enough to retain interest, but long enough to cover the subject. All of this boils down to the same basic concept, and it's this one. Be interested in other people. You know, I grew up with a very famous grandfather, and there was kind of a ritual in my home. People would come over to talk to my grandparents, and after they would leave, my mother would come over twice, and she said, "Do you know who that was?" She was the run-up to Mr. America. He was the mayor of Sacramento. She won a Pulitzer Prize. He's a Russian ballet dancer. And I kind of grew up assuming everyone has some hidden amazing thing about them. And honestly, I think it's what makes me a better host. I keep my mouth shut as often as I possibly can. I keep my mind open, and I always prepare to mix. And I'm never disappointed. You do the same thing. Go out, talk to people, listen to people, and most importantly, be prepared to be amazed. Thanks. 네, 오늘 여기까지 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.